Not only is Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 getting some of the best reviews we have seen from a true RPG since something like Baldur's Gate 3. Not only is this game set to be in an open world with so many different options and consequences based on your player's decisions, where you can do and be whoever the hell you want to be as the player. And not only are they bringing back the unique game mechanics in combat from the first game and simplifying and refining and polishing this in a way that is best of both worlds for both returning players and new players like me, who is now finally playing through the first game because of all of my anticipation and how good the second game looks and what they have showed so far. But they also sent review codes out 4 weeks early, and I said in a video previously that I had a feeling they're doing this because this game is so damn large. You can put probably over 100 hours into this open world experience and still be getting more, and I think the new information that we just got from the game proves that, because their script is said to be the longest game script of all time, now beating out Baldur's Gate 3. But before we get into why I think this is just absolutely insane and a huge accomplishment for an RPG, considering Baldur's Gate 3 is touted as one of, if not the best RPG at this point of all time and the standard for games going forward. Thank you guys so much for 950 subscribers. I really appreciate the support on the channel. If you are new to the channel and you like gaming news and gaming reviews for RPGs and action-adventure games, etc., please like and subscribe if you guys do like the video you see here. Now, let's get into the content. So if you guys do not know, Baldur's Gate 3 currently has the Guinness World Record of the most words within its game script, holding over 2 million words within its total game, which obviously is a game that focuses on narrative, focuses on choices and the consequences of those choices, and the reactivity of other characters based on what you do in your specific Baldur's Gate 3 campaign that you go on. And maybe I'm crazy, but I didn't see a world, at least one upcoming soon, that was going to have a game that wasn't a top-down RPG, obviously one that still does focus a lot on narrative, but has to focus a lot more on that moment-to-moment gameplay, being an open-world first-person RPG. And originally it was reported that Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 was only at about, quote-unquote only, it's still absolutely insane, but only at about 1.7 million words. But now they came out to say, no, it's actually at 2.2 million, beating out Baldur's Gate script for the longest gaming script of all time. And now it makes a lot more sense why they are giving out these review copies 4 weeks in advance, and why you're already seeing reviews even though the game doesn't launch until the 4th of February, because this game is going to be fucking huge. The first game, I believe, only had about 800,000 words in its script, so this one is supposedly almost triple the amount of dialogue and narrative and potential options that you can choose in this game versus the first one in regards to talking to other NPCs or just in general. And while I'm someone who won't get my hands on the game until the 4th when the game releases, like 99.99% of the world aside from the reviewers, it's very obvious, at least to me, that Warhorse Studios took all of the experience and all of the success from the first game, one that is more from what I know of a cult classic hit and not necessarily this big mainstream hit, and put it into this game and way, way, way more. They are making the penultimate version of the game they wanted to make the first time around, with all of their now additional resources and, again, experience that they had from developing the first one. But in addition to this, and what I think is almost more important, at least to me, is they aren't shying away from what people really want within an RPG. The freedom of choice that we had in Baldur's Gate 3, because of how great that game was, became the new expectation on what RPGs could actually deliver on. But since then, we have seen studios creating big RPGs that are shying away from those expectations and don't want those same expectations put on themselves that were put on Baldur's Gate 3, which is insane because before Baldur's Gate 3 even released, not a lot of people really were playing the early access. Not a lot of people were expecting that game to be as big as it actually was. And big AAA studios wrote this off as something they couldn't do, even though Larian at the time wasn't a AAA studio. They pretty much definitely are now. But instead, we had studios release RPGs with the illusion of choice. RPGs that had a lot of different options that never actually culminated into anything different. You're still doing the same quest. It's still ending in the exact same way. It might have one tiny thing different, or your character might say something different, but these games don't actually have the results that we wanted from our different choice. Look at games like Dragon Age Veilguard or Starfield, for example, including its DLC. And no, it's not to say these games were absolutely terrible for everybody who played them. But the problem is they didn't have one of the most core RPG elements in them that allowed you to be the player that you wanted to be in the world that you were playing within. But Warhorse doesn't seem to be failing with this burden of expectation that RPGs now have. They seem to be looking forward to it and thriving within it. Boasting a game with 2.2 million words in your script is absolutely insane. And although I haven't played the game myself, it almost proves that you're going to have all of these different dialogue options with all of these different choices and reactivity to those choices, where it actually changes up the game in a fundamental way based on what you do as the main character. Because you're not going to have 2.2 million words in your script and not have that. We've already seen the game have that to an exponential extent in the reviews that we've already seen from content creators and reviewers who have played the game and released videos on it. And yes, I might seem like I'm glazing and the hype train is at an all-time high and I'm taking part in that. And yes, I definitely am, because I'm excited for this game and I'm excited for an RPG that I can do whatever the hell I want to do within the world and be fully immersed into this experience. But obviously, I'm going to have to tell for myself when the game actually comes out. Maybe the game will come out and all of this is fluff and they just fluff it up to the max and none of this actually really does matter, but it's hard to believe, at least in my opinion, that you have this big of a script and all of these different dialogue options mean nothing. In my personal opinion, I think it's a very good sign for the game, not only in terms of its longevity, but also in terms of its replayability, where you can play this game multiple times, have a fully different experience each time you play the game, and actually be the character and have the freedom of choice that you want in an RPG. Let me know down in the comments below if you guys think this is a huge achievement. I think it definitely is. I'm very excited, and I think it shows a very good sign of things to come for this game and what it's actually going to be on release. And I think a lot of that is proven by the videos and reviews that we've already seen so far from people who have put tons of hours into this game already. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Like and subscribe for more content like this if you did like the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace!